Alright, hey guys, so you'd have learned how to make the appetizers, which is the king crab nachos with a little bit of cheese sauce on top, chipotle sauce at the bottom. Now I'm going to move into the main course, and that is a little bit technical, but I will show you what to do each step. So if you follow me, I'm going to teach you how to become a gourmet chef at home, right? These are just some fine scallion leaves that we put that to add a nice luxury touch at the end of the dish. I have my pot of water here boiling. Those are for the sweet potato. I'm going to simply cube those up to manageable sizes. All right, being very careful not to cut your hand and using a very sharp knife, right? Once I get those in, of course, this water is salted. Pork is next. So this pork is a little bit technical, so being that it can easily burn, right? And we don't want that, so I'm going to guide it each step of the way if you pay attention closely. All right, so hot pan, high heat. You start off with a little bit of olive oil, but really and truly the butter is what you want for flavor, right? So once you have your butter, you notice that the fat is separated. The top part is called clarified butter. So you add a little bit there. I have some garlic. Just take one peeled, crush it, and put it in. And then you can take a piece of basil, right there, a piece of parsley, right? That is really just to flavor the oil, right? So once you have that, you move them to the side. The first thing you have to do is sear your pork tenderloin. Now on this pork tenderloin, I have a bit of chopped garlic, cilantro, herbs that I used in there, the parsley and the basil, salt, pepper, and some of my special spice sauce that I mix with about 16 spices, right? It has paprika, garlic, onion, celery salt, ginger powder, pimento powder, you name it. They're all in there. All right. Next, I lay each bacon piece slightly overlapping the other, so that once I put it on, I can roll it and it holds together, right? The next thing you're gonna need while that is sauteing is some mustard. All right. And you can just take a little bit and spoon it right on the side of your dish. Pay attention to the pork. It goes very quickly. Flick that over. You see that nice brown bit starting to caramelize right there. That's what you're really looking for, right? But slowly. I always tell people, the fire or the pot don't burn food. People burn food, right? So it's your job to control that, right? If you realize that it's too hot, you adjust the heat down. Because everybody's stove and burners are different, right? This one is really fast. Some may be more powerful than that, some may be less powerful, right? But you have to watch it. So if you have to even lift it up and peek, you can say, oh, that's burning really quickly. Let me turn it on the side for now, right? And keep basting that. Now, there's a French technique that they use where they tilt the pan to the side and put it down and just continuously basting it while the pot is partially on the fire. Now, I wouldn't encourage you to do that unless you've commanded great attention to detail when it comes to the fire, the heat source, and the pan, right? But it's just something to practice if you want, right? If you have kids in the home, I don't recommend you do this because there's a lot of splatter that can come from the oil, all right? You don't want this to cook too much because it's also going to go in the oven. So you take this out, put it on top of your bacon, about 2 inches away from the edge. Reverse this here, ensure that your heat is turned off, right? You can empty the oil and all the brown bits, because once you roll the pork, it's going to go back into the pot and into the oven. Now, if you have a brush or a bunch of thyme leaves, you can just dip the mustard and brush it all over, right? I have on gloves, so I'll just take it. And it's very important that you do this immediately after it comes out the pot. right? Because that way the heat from the pork melts onto the pork tenderloin and sort of infuses it, right? So you use a knife or a utensil, pick it up and roll it in. Oh, just before I do that, forget, I have some balsamic reduction here, right? It's just balsamic vinegar and sugar, and you just let it boil and reduce for about 10 or 15 minutes on low heat until it looks a little syrupy, right? You just put a little bit like that, glazed, right? You don't have to do this step, but I really recommend it because once the mustard and the sweetness from this start to marinate and it has a slight soury kick, it's like heaven, right? So continue rolling carefully but tightly, because while I'm rolling, I'm also kind of pulling it back. So you roll it, pull it back, roll, pull back, and just go right over. You want to leave this on the seam side, right? You get your pot. Ooh, it's too hot. You hear that start to sizzle? Put it in the oven, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15-20 minutes. That should caramelize the bacon nicely. So I'm gonna run and do that, guys, and I'm gonna come back, check on the potatoes. That should be ready. We're gonna ready for plate up. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, so pork's out of the oven. Fantastic color. Caramelization is perfect, nice and crispy. That's why I recommend that you do it 375 degrees, because you don't want to have it too long so that the inside of the pork tenderloin overcooks. It's a very tender piece of meat and very delicate. So doing it at that temperature for that long straight off the fire, perfect, right? All the time. So I'm gonna take this here. I have my mashed potatoes, the slaw is ready. I have some garnishes.
This looks fantastic,
sir,
man.
yeah, he has a special antenna.
Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, the aromas hit me.
Yeah.
And I had to make my way over here, man. This looks fantastic.
No, well, you're just in time.
The aromas are just absolutely fantastic.
You're just in time. We're gonna slice this baby up.
All
you can help me plate it.
Yeah, man, happy to have to work on my food.
There we go. In my household, that's how we do it.
Thank you very much.
You can't sit at the table and you haven't contributed to the meal. So
it's a rather interesting scoop. Okay, good.
Right. So ice cream scoop. We're gonna have, first thing to go on the plate is a beetroot puree. So it has roasted beetroots.
Okay.
Honey, because I don't personally, I never like beetroot growing up. But I find that the honey masks the flavor of the beetroot. That
earthiness.
Right, it kind of covers that a little bit. And then coconut milk, salt, and I put a pinch of nutmeg, right?
Okay.
Right,
so you have the spice note you're going.
That's correct, right? So, I mean, gourmet food is not complicated, right? So, I mean, you can just push this, brush this, any different way. I'm going to do a simple circular motion, right?
Okay.
Looks simple, but it's just don't fight with it.
I'm sure it only looks simple.
Don't fight it. It's just like.
Okay.
Right?
Very pretty. All right.
So, potato.
Right, so you gave me this. Potato
right?
time. All right. So let me try something here now.
I'm just gonna shape this at the same time while doing that. See, that's well cooked. Well cooked here, right?
Yep. That looks beautiful.
Perfect. Right there.
If I can make sure that keeps the shape.
So I'm
gonna make sure that.
I'm gonna put this right here, and I want to put the other one right there.
Get all of this goodness.
Yeah, man. Perfect.
And you want to drop the other one here?
Right here.
Let me see if my aim is any good.
There you go. Squeeze. Beautiful.
Wow, that is awesome.
Right, and then it's not complete yet, right? Because you have to have a bit of the coleslaw, and I wanted to put some flowers on top of this thing, you know, like almost like a garden, right? Let me give you this to assist you.
Right, thank you.
I'll put this one and this one, and you put the purple one.
All right, so where you want to drop it?
Right along
across
here,
there. All right.
It's just edible flowers, right? Perfect for our climate. And some of the green onions that I did earlier when they were coming in goes right.
Wow, this plate looks amazing.
Then, last but not least, the balsamic glaze, right? At the end, kick that up with a little bit of
Beautiful,
12-year-old.
beautiful. And that's a very good choice of rum here, you know, because
that.
the notes on the 12-year-old, I can imagine will go very well with that balsam.
Oh man, I can taste it right. Finish it a little butter for richness.
Right.
And then just glaze it.
Oh.
Alright, look at that. And I can smell the rum.
Yeah, no, I can smell it. As a matter of fact, yeah, man, it really popped, especially
It's
when
like
you
it
get that
heats
last bit that
gently.
you added a while ago. But
Yeah.
when all those volatile aromatics just
Yeah.
started to be heated and just got released, yeah, man, absolutely.
Because we
amazing.
added balsamic to the dish, as I say, gourmet, just a few more drops. Right in the middle.
This is absolutely gorgeous. And you know what would go very well with this?
Oh, tell me.
Guess what?
Yeah.
And you just started using a little bit of it.
12-year-old?
just now. The 12-year-old rare cask would be perfect. And guess what? I have the perfect drink
Yeah, man.
right here. So this is our 12-year-old old fashioned. So the 12-year-old is absolutely perfectly aged, right? So all rum, youngest, 12 years old, so minimum age rum.
Okay.
And over that time of maturation in the barrel, a number of magical transformations have taken place.
Ooh, that sounds
Oh, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? So you start talking about the creation of beautiful deep vanilla notes,
Right.
right? Rich nuts, coffee, chocolatey sort of notes coming through as well,
Oh,
right?
man.
And you know,
That just sounds
those
like
flavors,
caramel in
yeah,
my
man,
mind.
exactly. Those flavors go very well with the glaze that you just so beautifully made.
Yeah.
And there's a nice undertone, this beautiful orange peel note that comes through as well, which is really, really accentuated.
I'm salivating already.
Oh my goodness, which is accentuated in this cocktail because in your old fashioned, very, very simple.
Okay.
Easy to make. So you're talking about your 12-year-old rare casks. You're talking about just a little bit of, in this case, simple syrup. And last but not least, a little bit of bitters.
Oh, that's very easy.
Really, really simple, right?
Okay.
So it's a little bit more spirit forward. So you can really start to enjoy the nuances of the rum.
Right.
And see the orange peel here?
You're right. Without distracting
Also very,
too
very
much from it.
important, you know, because
Yeah.
the orange peel does add another layer of nuances to this fantastic
Right, because
cocktail.
in like zest, when we finish up in dishes, like it adds like those essential oils from
Exactly,
it. It just
exactly.
merges well with
Yes.
rum. Well, we normally put it with chocolate, so it changes the chocolate entirely. Like it,
Yeah, man.
when I say changes, meaning like you taste the chocolate and you taste it with lemon or orange zest, you're just
It's
like,
very
whoa,
different.
it makes it so much better.
Exactly, just steps it up a notch, and it's the
Right.
very same here. So cheers, my bro.
Cheers, my bro.
And now let's jump in and enjoy.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.